Recording in progress.
Softly.
Present.
Bridgman.
Present.
Singh. Present. Poppy. Wilson. Poppy. Present, right?
Say here. Here. Good answer.
Wilson.
All right, roll has been called. We'll call this meeting of the Grant CRA to order. We are meeting under state statute 84-1407, of which notices of this meeting have been placed at 3 public locations according to the state statute. And then also anyone that's interested in reading this copy of the state statute is located on the bulletin board on the south wall in this room. Let's take a review and action on the agenda, if so approved.
Motion to accept the agenda.
Second.
Thank you, Kevin. We have a second on the main motion. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we shall proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Review and action of the agenda is approved. Reviewing and action on the previous minutes of January 30, 2025.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second. We have a main motion and a second for review, or approving those minutes. Any discussion? Hearing none, we shall proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Minutes approved. Financial report, please.
We had the January ones included in here this time. The checking accounts, the $512,000 for 32 and 84 cents, which 492,000 of that is the bond. And we just had our interest and then the payments that you guys had approved the previous claims list.
Any discussions or concerns about the treasurer's report? All right, so noted. Comment from the public. Does anyone have anything they would like to add, suggest, or talk about?
Is this the only time you will open for public comments, is right now? Okay. Then I guess I would.
All right,
I have a couple questions that I would like to pose to the CRA committee, and then if possible, I would like to make a statement. My first question was, I was present at the last CRA meeting, and at that meeting a vote was taken to divide the property, our property, from the other property and make it a separate subdivision. And so prior to that meeting, I had asked for information about what does that mean to us going forward, that you're dividing us into a separate subdivision, and I was never given an answer. And at the meeting, I also made the statement that I don't understand what that means when the CRA is dividing our property into a separate subdivision. So I guess that's what I would like to ask right now, is to have someone explain to me what that means to us going forward.
You can only take public comment, you can't respond.
So I
And
can't
you
have any
a
of my
conflict of
questions
interest,
answered.
so you can't respond. You can make public comments. You can take that into consideration, but you can take no action.
So I get no
Okay.
response to that question.
guess not.
Okay, then my other question was, if it was the consensus of the CRA board from the very beginning of approaching us about coming to an agreement about our property, if it was your consensus from the start that when you went through our property, you would build a road and the main water line would run through the south side of the road, and the main sewer line would run on the north side of the road, but there would be no cross-section of the water to the north side or the sewer to the south side. That was my question, but I guess I'm not gonna get an answer on that one either. So I will just move to my statement. I sat down and wrote up some of my understanding of the facts that have taken place since we were approached back in 2023 from this CRA board about coming to an agreement for the use of our property. I have with me an article that was published in the Perkins County paper dated Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023. In this article, it states the CRA and City Council looked at the most cost-effective way to get the necessary infrastructure, water, sewer, electric, to 430 East 4th Street. And coming from the north through the property owned by Gaylord Bishop was determined to be the best route and most cost-effective by the city engineer. A quote at the end of the article states, what was accomplished at the meeting on February 8th, 2023 was getting all parties on the same page. Dunn said, we want to make sure that all questions are answered before we move too far forward. I have a copy of that if anyone would like it at the end of the meeting. Mr. Dunn made the comment that night that he was hoping to have everyone on the same page. My husband and my son Jason were present at that meeting, and they came away from that meeting stating that they were told by the city manager and CRA president at that meeting that the city was going to put a road through our property, they were going to run water and sewer mains through our property, and that all utilities, including electric, cable, everything, water and sewer would be available on each lot. And so my husband asked specifically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that night with this city manager, is this what you intend to do? I need to understand that. And he said yes, that everything was going to be available on the lots. So my husband said at the time, okay, if that's what you're going to do, I will give you a 60-foot easement to go through our property, but I need a contract that signifies exactly what we've agreed to tonight. And I'm agreeing to a 60-foot easement on my property to go forward. Because of my husband's concerns, because we had entered into an agreement with the city in the past, and the city had not carried through with what they had promised, he went again the next day, or within the next couple of days, went to the city manager and said, okay, I want to be sure that this is what we are agreeing on, these things. And I want a contract from you that tells that, because I do not want to get to the end of this and have someone tell me, no, that's not what we agreed to. But that is exactly what has happened here. We have asked for 2 years, requested the city, give us a contract that says exactly what we were told that night. And we have never been given a contract. The first contract we received, and when I was at the CRA meeting last month, I heard someone ask, well, how soon were the bishops given a contract? And I think you were told we'd had that contract in hand for 2 months. That is not true. The first contract that we received by email is dated January 13th, 2024. Apparently my son Jason got a rough draft of that on a week sooner. But the only contract we have ever gotten from the city or the CRA to move forward on our property was on January 13th of this year. Even though we had been asking for 2 years for a contract that outlined what was supposed to happen on that property. And I guess the other thing that I have with me tonight is an item that was taken off the website of the city of Grant, and it is dated May 13th, 2024. And if you look on the second page, it says, the reason I asked, the question I asked when I came was, is it your understanding that you never agreed to bring water and sewer over to the lots at the start? And I've gotten the feeling that that's what you think. And by saying so, you're essentially saying that my husband and my son are liars about what happened at that first meeting on February 8th. But in this document dated May 13th, 2024, it says, bidding documents for the infrastructure regarding the new subdivision. We will bid for the construction of a new sewer main, water meter pits, water meters, curb stops, corp stops, necessary drainage, manholes, and gravel streets for now. So to me, this again reinforces what we were told at that first meeting, that it wasn't going to be just a water line on the south side of the street and a sewer line on the north side of the street. And what I was told when I later met with officials after the 13th was that their intention was that we would sell the lots to individuals and tell them at the time, well, by the way, the road is already built. What you're going to have to do is bore a hole 60 or 70 feet under the road to get the water or sewer lines over to your property. To me, this sounded ridiculous and terribly expensive. I asked at this meeting, what is the cost of doing that? My second question was, who in the world does that for you? And I was told, we don't know. So I took the time to contact two companies in this area. One was in Broken Bow, Myers Construction, the other was in Kearney, Midlands. And in talking to them, both of them told me that it would be ridiculous to bore a hole under a road to bring a sewer line over to another property. Number one, it probably would not work the best because you might get waves in that line when it has to go that far. The other thing is that it's outrageously expensive. Probably twice the cost of going in and digging up and putting those lines in at the start. So I asked both of those companies, could you at least give me a bid on what that was cost? And of course they can't drop everything they're doing and get me the bid. I finally received one bid on January 28th, and that was from Myers. I got a phone call from Midland just this last week saying, Jeannie, we will try to get the bid to you by next week. So, because I was trying to find out what in the world does this cost? And and I had no idea, and you couldn't tell me that. And so the problem was that, again, the initial problem was that our understanding from the start was what was to take place on our property. We could never get a contract. We never received a contract or had a contract signed before work started on our property. As soon as that work started, I came to the office of the city and said, what is going on? We don't have any signed contract for anything to happen on our property. We went back probably 5 or 6 times over time when the road started going in. I went to someone and said, why is there a road going in? We have no signed contract for anything to take place on our property. I went again when fire hydrants showed up on our property because those fire hydrants weren't where we had designed the lots to sit, at a lot line. And so my frustration, if you can tell, is very great. The stress that it's put myself and my husband and my son through is enormous. Because we went through this 10 years ago when the city tried to come forward and buy our land. And we were offered something and told that, oh, if we just tear down this house, buy this house and tear it down, we will reimburse you the cost and we will buy your property. In the end, it was, oh no, by the way, we're not gonna do that. So we're in the same place again. And I think it's a terrible way to do business. My husband is good friends with Jim Salzman. Many of you may know him as an honorable man. He was involved with the city years ago. His house sits across from the swimming pool up there, his very nice house. He was involved in bringing forth that development at the time that part of the city was developed. And my husband is good friends with Jim. He's in a nursing home in Lincoln right now, but he's still very sharp, and Gaylord goes to visit him whenever we go to Lincoln. And 2 years ago, Gaylord stopped and said something to Jim about, well, the city's come forward and wanting to move through our property again. Jim knew what had happened before, and he said to Gaylord, don't ever do it. my experience has been you'll get all kinds of promises from the city and they won't be kept. He said, all you'll get is a bunch of headaches. So, we invested considerable amounts of time, effort, and monetary investment in purchasing the property that we now own and developing that property. It was always our hope to be part of a project that would benefit our community. And it was never our intention to make money on this endeavor. Hopefully, we might recoup some of the costs that we put into it. We had hoped over time that that would happen, but our plan was always to try to sell our lots as reasonably as possible because we wanted to see Grant grow. So, I thank you for your time, and if anyone would like a copy of any of the materials I've had, I'd be glad to share them. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeannie.
Thanks.
Anything we can, thank you, Jeannie. Unfinished business. Restrictive covenants, for the owned property, within the subdivision.
I would suggest we just take no action and we'll bring it up as new business next time.
So let's continue to table it.
Well, not table it this time, just do no action on it
Okay,
this time.
I'm sorry. Poor choice of words. Dies for lack of action, all right. Same way with the appointment of a CRA director, I'm going to assume. All right, new business, discussion on, resolution 25-0201.
Mr. Chairman and members of the authority, Mike Bacon, I prepared the proposed redevelopment plan that was just had a public hearing in front of the planning commission. They recommended approval. The redevelopment plan provides a sale of the lot you own to the Betterment Corporation for $33,000. The way they're going to get $33,000 is you're gonna give them a grant, and then they're gonna assign that back to you, and then you also have to give them $10,000. And there's a proposed cost-benefit analysis that says, are you burdening the community by doing this? The answer is really no, you're just building a new house for one use to exist. Are you gonna do you have police, water, and health available in the community so you don't have to add cost to the taxpayer to do that? Are you going to overload the school system? And you can't fit that many bodies in there to overload the school system, so that's essentially cost benefit analysis. The cost to the community is you give up the increase in taxes for 15 years that will hopefully pay you back the $33,000 plus interest. As I was explaining to Jesse, you're likely not to get that much back because even though the corporation is going to put in $300,000 worth of investment, the assessor is not going to hit you that high, and the sale price will be significantly less than that. Thus, they need a free lot and $10,000. Be glad to answer any questions you might have. The action would be, for you at this point, would be to pass the resolution which says, City Council, we support the plan and would recommend that you approve the plan at their hearing. At the end of this, you need to go into recess before you adjourn, because when you come back, you're going to have to pass one more resolution authorizing the redevelopment contract and the TIF note. You can't do that until the City Council approves the plan. So I'm sorry for that, but that's just the way the statutes are built. They've been that way for 40 years. So. Any questions? It's a great project. Great school project.
Thank Thank you, sir. Any questions or discussion?
So we need to make a motion to recommend to the city council the resolution.
We'll just state that whole thing that you have in the agenda, basically, just approving the resolution.
Okay, make a motion that we recommend approval of the redevelopment plan city of Grant, approval of the cost benefit analysis and redevelopment project of the city of Grant, and approval of related actions of 245 Lincoln Avenue redevelopment project.
Second that.
All right, we have a main motion to approve 25-0201. For this motion to move forward, it does require a second. Mr. Poppy, all right. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Hoppley,
Yes.
Brugman,
Yes.
Sim,
Yes.
Poppy.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Approval of the preliminary, and is it truthfully the final plat?
I've left up to you guys, but yes, we hope so.
Okay.
You're okay with the road use?
Not much choice.
You have choice. We're back to square one.
Yeah, there you
Since now the road is on your property, you'll have to
go. Oh,
abstain.
I should have abstained. Thank. Okay.
So that means Kevin, you're.
Oh, okay, all right, well, all right. I guess we're looking for a approval then.
All right, motion by Poppy for the preliminary and the final plat of the CRA subdivision. Is there a second? I have a second by Mr. Brueggemann. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Softly,
I abstain.
Brugman,
Yes.
Sim,
Yes.
Poppy.
Yes.
Action and discussion on referring a preliminary and a final plat to the, to the Grant Planning Commission. All right, moving on to the next step, sorry.
I would make that motion.
Very good.
A second.
Mr. We have a main motion and a required second. Is there any discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, let's have a roll call vote.
Softly,
I'll abstain.
Brugman,
Yes.
Sim,
Yes.
Poppy.
Yes.
Should we call for a recess, or do we want to go ahead and move on the resolution?
You can't move on the resolution, but you can go ahead and go down and do your bills and claims, and then we can recess and just come back for the.
Let's see, Mr. Poppy, have you seen the bill?
You have a bill?
We have a bill.
Okay.
Basically drains the checking account.
I think we will have, roughly $9,000 left then.
All right, do we have in here any discussion about having a pancake feed, or? All right, any action or to be taken as far as the bills are concerned?
Make a motion that we pay
The motion has been moved.
the
For the-
11,174 to Dickinson Landscapers.
All right, is there a second?
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Bills are to be paid.
Has to be a roll call.
I'm sorry?
Has to be a roll call vote. Yeah.
You are correct. Roll call vote. I
Okay.
was by
Softly,
that. Yes.
Brugman,
Yes.
Sim,
I suggest we go into recess.
You need a motion
Motion
to
to-
recess? I make a motion that we go into recess and reconvene after the city council meeting.
All right, subsidiary motion has been made to
Second
go
that.
into recess, we shall do that. Then a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call.
I'm sorry?
Roll call.
Roll call.
Yep, Softly,
Oh, all right. Yes.
Brugman,
Yes.
Sim,
Yes.
Pop.
Yes.
Recording stopped.
Central City, yeah, I shouldn't have any problem, but the next game is.
Oh, did it get chilly in there?
Yeah, I got down to 50.
Oh, my gosh. No, it was 80 degrees difference between last year and today's. I know, I'm just like, afraid when my carries to the shock of it. Man, I don't know what you're like, about trees, I cannot be good parents. That's such a, so okay.
Okay.
What are we gonna do, just text these people?
All we've done
Yeah,
is,
expect them to sit here for the next 3 hours?
Jim said just tell them.
This is sure my dad's not gonna work.
Yeah, he's gonna do it. This is the one that we approved so far.
okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go to DJ's. I think I find DJ's.
Okay, we know where to find it.
They get things down again.
Well, I got a few too many crises going on.
It's like 80 seconds.
What's that? I bet sleep would take you.
Randy left his water, but he'll be back.
And when I read
Good.
asked, I've been talking to Shar, she's like, would you just be funny, buy him a couple of dozen eggs?
Mom's been having to get up every morning and make him breakfast. His first time in 58 years.
So what you're gonna get a little kid. She said something about eggs, I have to look at her text that she sent me. I was like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious, and because I'm on there like that, and Nina's on there, I'm gonna do that. And then the girl, she's like, and he has like candy by it.
Oh,
So I thought, okay, I'm gonna go buy it some tea. I can't talk about it much because I get myself all emotional because my gosh, he's been with us. I can't,
It is breaking his heart not to be able to mow.
I can't hardly even, I hope that I can see him okay.
Yeah,
Because
he
he's-
looks so much better. I
does
went
he
over,
look good?
last night I was over there because we got Ian a truck. So I took it over to Dad to see some. And now, it's so funny because Mom and I went up to get it because the guy met us in the Oklahoma. Well, I come home before Mom did because she had a few errands to run. So I got Dad out to the pickup and he was sitting in there looking at it and everything. And Mom parked in the garage. She didn't notice us sitting in the truck. I could see her in the back door window. She walked in and there's his walker and his oxygen tube hanging there. And she just had this look of
Panic.
panic. Where's neighbor? So I honked at her and she comes out. She goes, what are you doing out here with that job? His dad goes, I haven't pulled a one. He goes, I'm fine. Well, at least
I
she's worried about
wonder
it.
if it's going to kill him wearing that tank top.
Yeah.
But it looks good.
Yeah.
Did they ever figure out why they put him on that line?
No, nothing ever fessed up to
What
it.
the heck? Because that guy just made him that much more
It
sick.
did because I had energy to fight it.
And Shar said he lost a lot of weight.
Dude, it was like 13 pounds.
But
Yes,
he
the
didn't
one,
really have
that
anything
one
to-
morning I was there, the hospitalist, is what they call them, came in and she was. And I was like, so is there a reason why he can't be on a regular diet? Why is he on this low salt, low fat thing? Cause he just told me they weighed him that morning, it had been a week and he lost 10 pounds, 11 pounds. And she's looked at me and she looked at him, she goes, absolutely no reason, he gets a full diet. I'm like, perfect.
Wow.
So then we started, I said, Mom, she started taking donuts every morning, and we take them different like canes and runs them in different
But
feeders.
what is it? Like, it's just a lung disease?
Fibrosis is, your lungs are like cracked glass, so they have no ability to hold oxygen, so that's why he'll have to be on oxygen. Cause he can't do enough on his
Oh my
own.
gosh, how is something like this with hunting season and when your boys come back?
Yeah,
How are your boys doing?
pretty good. Ethan was home over the weekend, so he got to help get everything arranged and help get him in and stuff, so he did pretty good, because he looks better. I said, honey, he looks 10 times better than he did look. And I did call, when we put him in the hospital, I did call Ian and let him know, because he went back and forth, because when Ian went to phase 6, it was like, something happened, I don't know. Overseas, I'm like, so do you want to know? He goes, yes. I'm like, "Okay, here's what's going on." So he called him and FaceTimed with him several times, so that helped.
I hope he's doing better.
He is doing well, and his spirit is still good.
It drove me crazy, do you know, like within 2 weeks, Nina turned his keys and Dad retired. And I thought, oh my gosh, now the sun comes and it's hard.
One of my cousins works for Kearney, City. He'd been at the hospital on city business or something, so he was in 4 years old, so he walked in to check in on Dad. The minute he left, the nurses were right in there going, I was a coughing. I said, Dad, you missed it, you should have said I was turning you in for elderly abuse.
He's so on it. He should have done that.
Yeah, cause really, who gives a damn, who comes in and isn't it? What uniform they're wearing, who cares? That's just the typical nasty people.
But it was so funny, 'cause so many of the nurses and the doctors and stuff had ties back to Grant. It was just like every time somebody came on shift, it was like they had to talk, oh, you're from that, oh, I know this person, right? I'm related to this person.
It is. I feel like that when I go to Lincoln too.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Well,
yeah, he's doing good.
we're gonna put something together. I don't know what he would like, if he drinks Gatorade or Pop. All he does is candy and eggs.
Ensure,
Coke and Gatorade.
And what?
ensure, he's got to make sure.
I might be crossing the line. Maybe Gatorade just.
Gatorade and Coke.
So, okay, yeah, we're gonna try to put a basket together and take it to them.
So the one medicine they put them on for the fibrosis, it's without insurance, it's over $13,000 a month.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yes.
At first the insurance took it down to 1,000, which is still ridiculous. And we finally got it down to nothing. But they delivered it UPS, and mom got a note, or on dad's phone, I looked at it, and said, called Ethan, and he's going to pound that money. And we're from her, and Ethan, we check whether or not it was front porch and see if there's a package. If there is, to get inside, open it up, let us know what's in it. He took a picture of the mail and sent it to me on it. I was like, you have $13,000 in your hand.
Isn't it crazy? So my mom's been really sick and she had a heart ablation and then she ended up getting, pneumonia really bad. So she's still pretty sick, but we're not kidding. They put her on a medicine that she had to have, and my mom had her on Social Security, and it was, $566 a month for this. And I said, no way. And I was like, and how are you guys gonna afford this? And they're like, well, they said that's what, my mom had to have. I was like, Dad, you know what, I will pay for this month for you. And when mom feels better, I was like, we'll deal with it at that time, let's just get the medicine in there. I was like, she's too sick to be dealing with it right now. And then my sister was sick, so my sister was like, the next one,
You go back and
well,
forth.
I don't know what happened, but that was insurance bringing it down to my parents. That was because of taking it better than that. And I said, people on, that kind of income, do you pay for that?
Because Oli has to be on medication for pancreatitis, that's like, it's online, and you can get, the company itself takes it to zero. So I'm like, okay, mom, let's look at this and do that for you, and so I looked on with Medicare, you can't do it, but Medicare is where you can submit paperwork, which luckily the pulmonaries, PA, submitted the paperwork, so they could get it for nothing, so. She's like, well, we can do it, so ask, maybe.
Like ask her cardiologist?
Yep.
Okay, cause I told my dad, I'm gonna go to that next.
Yes, because they can send in, and I just went on, and that's how I found that out, I went on that medicine plus. Because I'm on regular Blue Cross Blue Shield, it would take it down to zero, but on Medicare, you have to submit additional paperwork.
Well, I'm going Thursday, cause I have to be in Kearney Friday morning for a meeting at 7, so that will put in with my dad's Thursday. And helping, taking some groceries and helping around and.
Yeah, so ask the cardiologist. He may not know, but his PA or his office people would know.
They had talked to somebody, but I asked my mom and she talked to, she said she couldn't even remember, that they were trying to work on it. I was like, well, they better work fast because you have to pay it in 5 days. Less than 8 days.
Yeah, they had this all figured out before Dad even left the hospital. Had it all done. I told Mom, this is somebody's gonna be there when those doctors come around and everything, cause Dad's not coming up of it. And he didn't have his hearing aids in for the first several days, so he just kept nodding at him, yes.
My dad has not been using it very much. My mom, she's that's good to know, so I'm gonna look into that and talk to them about it and thanks for the info.
Lots of times drug companies themselves do that for you.
The actual call, and I wish I knew what the name of the meds is, I'm gonna.
You find out who the manufacturer is, and if you contact them,
Okay.
under certain circumstances, they'll make it an exception.
I think
There
that's
are
something.
and what people's situations are, so. Even if this on TV, all the times they would say in their advertisements, you know, if you have trouble paying this card, then they would adjustment.
That is a good idea.
So,
I'm
Which you'd have to have.
You'd have to have every month, you have to go and get your blood work done to see how it's doing.
Oh, they do blood
So that's why they want them on the eligible, because they don't have to go in monthly. But Medicare will pay for the warfarin, but not the eligible.
You know, if the role reversed and it was my dad, that was in surgery. My mom would probably understand it all and be understood, but with my dad, all she was concerned about is her.
Right.
And it's too bad for providers, it's a lot of times providers know better, they will tell you that and start to do so that, you know, you can do that when you go down, and I help you. Sometimes you have to. I never did.
How did she handle the ablation?
She didn't, she got very sick and ended up getting pneumonia. They don't know, there was like her getting sick like with influenza A, being in the hospital and being, she got home and then 2 days later, oxygen dropped. And so they goes out transfer to Harmony. And with her cardiologist, and he said she's gonna have another ablation, probably didn't take, but he said sometimes that's common. That's what they told her, and so she'll go to another appointment, she's finally home, she was in hospital for 5 days, so she's been home a little over a week.
Yeah.
And she's finally doing better slowly, I mean, she just has no energy, she has no, I mean, she gets up and showers and she's done. She's exhausted. She looked really good when I FaceTimed her the other day. I'm going Thursday night, so I'll see what she's doing.
I don't know why she had the ablation, but my experience was which one was probably monitored drugs, and seriously, that you stop and you're sleeping.
Oh, really?
It keeps your heart rate low, and so you relax. I had to get all my stuff done, sit down and relax.
Oh.
It's not happening.
Yes.
It might be a new one.
And it, I'm just curious if they have a generic version that would be better.
No, oh, no, no, we asked, my sister, I was gone from home, and so my sister tried to find out. And they said, no.
Look up and see who the manufacturer is.
I just need to go get rid of the manufacturers. Interesting. Have they replaced Austin yet?
Do we want to do all those?
No.
Do we want to do, I would have enough in some,
I think to
No.
do, yeah, what's there.
Okay, so I would say we do that sometime.
Well, I'm still keeping Lane on Mondays and I ask him what he's doing. Oh, I'm working on a farm plan. What is that?
Or that section.
I don't know, him and Brent have gone up there a couple times.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Visiting with landlords.
Getting stuff.
Getting some.
Well, that's good,
It's
because
all
I'm part of that now, and
Oh
not
my gosh.
just that part of it. I just,
Yeah, move it over. Yep.
Do that, and we're gonna have two.
He and I will be very informed.
yeah.
He'll be fine.
Yes.
I saw somebody look at it.
That's we saw the 67, but
Johnson and Johnson.
That makes, really? No, and if somebody has an issue or a situation, like
It just worries me, like, when Rick gets sick, and it's like, I thought there's germs into this house, I'm gonna get sick.
I feel like somebody, oh my gosh, I walk past and they'll be coughing.
Yeah, it's like,
And you walk it out. Because if I got sick, I had a cough, and then I was like, you can't have your symptoms. I was like, nobody tells me their symptoms. We just have to stay through this.
Yeah, you can just get started on savings, right on. I just typed that in, and it had it. But you said they asked.
that's what I just,
Well, that's what my dad told me, but I understand that
Right.
I know, and lots of times, even if there is generic, if it's not in the Medicare formulary, they will not. That's another thing I.
Like the warfarin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, you just like walking around there by yourself with this weird.
I did that.
I think I did. I don't know if they were the most current ones that I got to see.
So we're thinking about.
Yeah.
I think so. I think Jesse gave me it.
Right, we're gonna come out, right, so we have to decide. Before you guys can, for 30 days. Well, it's, plus it's removal that's in there. Yeah. Cause some of them can, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. It's more than just the vouchers, it's trees, but we didn't know. Potential, yes. So that's. Yeah, how do you decide on where they're gonna turn a tree?
Well, I was gonna start with that one for house. And then finish the project.
But our company tries to test too, so
Thumb wrestling.